Good. So let's get started. Let me quickly go through the story. This is a very, in any such question, the same story kinds of repeat. So I will go through it quickly, and I'm also assuming that either you have read it earlier or you will slow down and do this all over again later, right? So in a World Snooker Championship, first 64 seeded individuals were allowed to participate. The rounds are all knockout. That is, once a player loses a game, he is out of the tournament. This is all very commonsensical information. In the first round, the highest seeded player, that is seed 1, will play against the lowest seeded player, that is seed 64. Okay. Seed 2 will play against seed 63, and so on till seed 32 plays against seed 33. So a lot of information, actually very well articulated, is already given to me. So let me try and capture that information. In fact, I've gone and extended that story as well. So if I look at round 1, I know that seed 1 or player 1 is going to play against player 64. In the same story, it also said player 2 will play against player 63 or seed 63. And lastly, he said player 32 will play against player 33. So this much was already given in the story. I am just capturing that information. Right? Easy enough. The thing to notice is, if you want to figure out, let's say, the rest of the boxes quickly, if I ask you, okay, tell me according to this logic, who will 13 play against? You know the story of 1 and 64, 2 and 63, 32 and 33. My question is, who will 13 play against? Let me put up a question mark here as well so that you understand the agenda. Noticing the information given, who will 13 play against? Because I noticed the sum of 1 and 64 is 65 for round 1. The sum of 2 and 63 is also 65. The sum of 32 and 33 is also 65. So once you catch this logic, which you don't need to know beforehand, if you play with the information, you can notice it. Maybe the first step will take some time, but after a couple of iterations, the speed will get higher and higher. So using the same logic, I know if this is 33, 65 minus, if this is 13, 65 minus 13 is going to, sorry, I have made a mistake, and so has Abhay, I think. It should be 52. I assumed that he was right. Why? Because you want the sum to be 65. So 13 plus 52 gives you 65. So the noticing pattern is that 1 and 64 is 65, 2 and 63 is also 65, 13 and 52 is also 65. 21 should play against whom? What is the new answer, guys? Who will 21 play against? Very simple story. The only thing that I have done so far is capture the information from the set. Notice a very basic pattern that 1 and 64 gives me 65. This is also 65. Of course, I could have gone sequentially also and done the whole thing, made the whole table. Okay, 3 will play against 62. And I could have followed that order. But somewhere, hopefully, we notice the pattern that the sum is always 65. And that can help us come to the answers faster. So, who will 21 play against? Answer is 44. Great. So very quickly, if I ask you, who will let's say 28 play against? Very quickly, 28 will play against whom? I will give that answer. I think the answer should be 37, because you want the sum to be 65. So 30 plus 20, 50, 58 plus 7, 65. So are we okay with this very first step? Now what I will do is, I will actually remove these numbers and keep the slots empty, because as and when needed according to the problems, I'll fill them out, because otherwise I will have to make a very big table. So I will capture a few snapshots for me to understand the logic, the beginning of the table and the end of the table, and in between I will leave a lot of space free for future calculations and working out scenarios. because finally you have to work with the options using this particular logic, and logic we'll see in a minute. Are we okay with round 1? So round 1 we have worked out. Now if I go back to the story, I read, so in the first round there will be 32 matches. Great, that is also, I can look at my picture again. So if I look at how many overall such combinations or such pairs will I make, I will make 32 matches, because obviously there are 64 players, and if everybody plays against one other player, there have to be 32 matches, right? Now I move my story to round 2. I'm assuming you have read the details. In round 2, what happens is, let's say, assume everybody, all the better seeded player, 1, 2, 3 up to 32, they are better players. Say for a minute, make that assumption that all the better players move to the next round. That means between 32 and 33, 32 will win and make it to the next round. It actually doesn't matter who makes it to next round. It matters how is the match being organized. So if you basically notice, the winner of this match, the winner of the first match, is being pitted against the winner of the 32nd match. That's the basic logic being played around. It is not very important if player 32 or maybe player 33 makes it to the second round. The idea is that the highest player or the first match winner will play against the last match winner. The second match winner will play against the second last winner, or the second last match of the first round. Right? Are we okay with this logic? So using the same idea, I say, okay, in round 2, 1 will play against 32, 2 will play against 31, 15 will play against 18, 16 will play against 17. If I keep continuing this in order, go slowly for the first time if you want to, or use the same logic as earlier. I notice that the sum for this particular story is 33. The sum here also is 33. So if I have 15, guessing 18 is easy because I know the sum has to be 33. 16 will play against 17. And again I have kept a few boxes in between to play with the information. So say if I ask you very quickly, who will 9 play against? My question is, notice the same, this is the same logic as earlier, only the number has changed. Who will 9 play against? Right now, these steps for some of you maybe will seem very basic, but as we move in the questions, you will see that this is the basic operation that is being repeated over and over again. So we want to build great comfort with this step. It should be very clear. Then we can build on speed later. Right, so somebody said 21. I'll take their answer. 21 is the right answer. So once again, I understand the logic and I will let the slots be empty because I want to use them later according to the question. So if I move to the third round now, the same story is going to repeat. The winner of the first match of round 1 is going to play against the winner of the last match of round 2. Let me repeat it. The winner of the first match of round 2 will play against the winner of the last match of round 2, right? Once you catch this broad logic, it's going to repeat over and over again. So maybe the first minute is difficult, but the second minute should be easier and far more comforting. So for round 3, 1 is going to play against 16. And understand this also, out of these 64 players, 32 move to the second round. Out of the 32, 16 move to the third round. So that first third also should be fairly easy to calculate. And now notice the sum very quickly. The sum is 17. So 2 will play against 15 and 8 will play against 9. If I ask you, tell me in between who will 7 or who will 6 play against, you can very quickly say he will play against player number 11 because I want the sum always to be 17. All of this is assuming that player number 11 actually made it this far, player number 6 made it this far. In that ideal scenario, I am asking you to guess the combinations. Yes, no? Now I want to accelerate in the story. For round 4, 1 will play against 8, the sum is 9, and 4 will play against 5, the sum is 9, and overall 8 players will perform in round 4. Round 5 it becomes easier still. 1 will play against 4, 2 will play against 3, and in the final round 1 will play against 2. Right? So is this basic structure okay? And this basic structure is it. After that it's going to be a lot of working with it, a lot of just going back and forth, but you need to understand this structure well. Is this picture very, very clear? Shall we move on? We understand the broad structure, and now I want to play around with it. What happens, let's say, if somebody defeats someone of a higher seed, or if there is an upset, a lower seeded player defeating a higher seeded player? What happens in that particular case? Yeah? So let's just play with the story. Say in this particular scenario, in this second match of round 1, player 63 defeats player 2. Then what happens in the story? I'm saying player 63 defeats player 2. What happens in the rest of the following rounds? Essentially, whenever that happens, and this will be called an upset because this is a lower ranked player or a poorer player defeating a richer player, right? Or a better player. So now when 63 defeats 2, he becomes the winner of match 2. That means in round 2, he will take the place of player 2. Are we getting this jump here? 63 has taken the place of 2. And let's say now again 63 defeats 31. So 63 will continue this journey and move to round 3 once again in place of player 2. So 163 defeats the player rank 2. He replaces him everywhere in the story, provided he continues to win. Are we getting this idea? This is the second important idea, this progression of who goes into the next round when there is an upset and who will he end up playing. So now 63 can end up playing against 31 if 63 defeats 2. Are we okay with this? And if 63 defeats 31, he will go to round 3 instead of 2. And if 63 now defeats 15 as well, he will go to round 4 instead of 2. And if he now defeats the 7th ranked player, he will go to round 5 in place of 2. And then finally he can go to round 6 in place of 2. Are we okay with this 63 going in place of 2? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes. 63 is moving along in the story in place of player 2. Let me move back, and again this requires a little bit of patience. I know I'm going fairly slowly, but if we understand this picture, hopefully this problem will not trouble you anymore, and you will also realize how basic the logic was. Initially it might be slightly confusing, especially if you don't capture the information well. So say now 63 defeats the player 2 and makes it to the next round, but 31 defeats 63. So let me copy 31 for myself, and 31 ends up defeating 63. So now where is 31 going to go? Remember, 63 was essentially a replacement for 2, and now 31 is defeating 63. That means he is essentially defeating 2 and moving in place of 2. So now 31 would have moved in place of 2. If now 31 defeated 15, he would have continued the journey of 2 in place of 2, moving on to the final or not, depending on how he wins or not. Now say at this point of time, this 15 defeats 31. Essentially 15 has taken over the place of 2, so he will go to 2's place in the next round, and then again 2's place in the next round, and again 2's place in the next round. Are we okay with this players replacing each other and taking their place in the master scenario, the master sheet that I made for myself, how players are replacing each other, and this is basically how they will play out with each other and who will end up playing against whom in which particular story. Are we okay so far? Right? With this framework, working out this very basic logic, and again going very slow so that there is comfort with this, because when I go to the questions I don't want to slow down after that, right? So if I have this framework ready, and I hope you make it out on a piece of paper, do it right now. Now I can move to the questions and start applying this game. But I will have to do it quite a few number of times and carefully, because the questions in this particular case are slightly tricky, but anyway this requires a little bit of work. But I'm assuming that the framework is very clear. Now I want to go to the questions.